EpicSportsApparel.com, proudly sponsored by Epic Sports Apparel, every play I compete. We got one of the top coaches in the college ranks for women's flag football, and she's also a beast of a linebacker in the WNFC. On one of the top defenses in the whole league. We're talking about 20 teams. They hadn't been scored on. They're heading to the playoffs, and they're former champions. They're on the roll. Angellica Grayson, also on the gridiron, known as Jelly. But we're going to talk to Coach Grayson first, then we're going to go and start talking to Jelly. How's it going, Coach?
Doing pretty good. How's it going?
Good. Great. So let's go back. We had you on the show right before your season started up in Kansas and St. Mary's. Just talk about the season a little bit and how that went for you guys. You went to Atlanta, got a chance to compete in the tournament. Just the overall overview, give me what you have, a synopsis of your season.
For the synopsis of the season, I believe we had a phenomenal season for our inaugural season. We've done a lot of things right, and we learned a lot of things. And I'm not even going to say we did a lot of things wrong. I'm going to say we learned a lot of things. I'm a real stickler on character, and we have gone a long way with learning the game of flag football, especially at the collegiate level, because there's a lot of flag football rules. And so at the NAI level, we're taking from different pieces, and we're trying to create our own to make it a bit more challenging. And so out of my 9 players, only one playing flag football at the high school level, which is Anaya Hooks, coming from Las Vegas, Nevada. She's the only one that I've had. And so out of the 9, she's the only high school player, and everybody else was able to either get first team, second team, honorable mention. So we had 12 different selections and being recognized in the things that they do on the field. We had opportunity to go to the postseason tournament. The Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the Atlanta Falcons actually hosted us, which was an awesome thing. Got a lot of swag, a little bit, little bags and a water bottle, a towel, like some good stuff, And so with them hosting it and being inside the Mercedes-Benz Stadium was a great thing, just to watch them walk into the stadium, and all they're doing is they're just looking up in awe, including myself, because that was my first time being in there since they had built the new stadium. But we've had our challenges, we've had our ups and downs, but we're learning each other. And so that's what I love about the team, is that we're learning how to be better communicators. And so we're better communicators off the field, and we transition that to on the field. And so to translate that was quite interesting, because we have a program that we started called Footprint to Football. And so with Footprint to Football, that is a mentor-mentee program with the Kansas City Glory, which is another team that we compete with within the WNFC. And I know it kind of sounds like, oh, how can you work with them? And then you're coaching your team, and it's not even nothing like that at all. And so I can separate the two. And so I know the head coach at the Kansas City Glory team, and so they work with my ladies, and my ladies work with them. And so we're just creating a blueprint which possibly could be used within the Women's National Football Conference, the WNFC. And so it's starting with us. And so doing all these inaugural things and creating a program called Footprint to Football, and also creating and changing lives for these young ladies. So we got voted champions of character, or team of character, within the NAIA, which they stress that the importance of character, and to be recognized for that is awesome. And so the banner actually sits in my office. As soon as you walk in, you can't miss it. If you miss it, you're blind, you can't see, and if you are blind, and I'm gonna help you touch it and feel the letters or something, but we work very hard, and we're definitely champions at heart. And I know pretty soon, one day, we will be champions on the field, where we can do both on and off the field.
Absolutely. Congratulations on a great season. Congrats to your girls for doing it. And character is a stepping stone. It's a block that you got to have. So yes. Going into the next season, what are some of the things that you take from this season?
Some things that I'm taking from the season is, now that they were so green when they first started, I've got some girls come in that have actually played high school flag, or even there's a young lady I'm recruiting now that actually played high school football. And so just bringing in some more experience to blend in with my ladies. And so I always tell them, just because you're an athlete doesn't mean you're a good fit. And so we see that at the NFL level, where they go from team to team because they're looking for that fit for them, for their style of play. And so you might be a good athlete, but that doesn't mean you're a good fit. And so we're looking for good fits. We're looking for good athletes. And going on to the next season, we're putting those pieces together to make us an even more dominant threat, and working on our weaknesses and try to fill in the gaps that we've got going on.
Most definitely. Congratulations on that. And then before we move on to the Elite Spartans, you got an internship that you got a chance to work with the
Yes.
Washington football team. Congratulations on that. Give me a little synopsis on what that was like for you.
Okay, well, it's the Bill Walsh Diversity Coaching Fellowship, and so I'm one of a few interns, and I'm the only female, which is awesome, which is great. And pretty soon there'll be others coming right along as well, where it won't just be one, and it'll just be others where you just lose count eventually. But it's awesome. I'm still currently on an internship with them. This is their break, their vacation, if you will, before training camp. So training camp starts back at the end of July, and I go with them to Richmond, Virginia. And so that's going to be just football every hour, every minute of the day. And so I'm excited to continue to grow and continue to learn. So there are a couple of drills that I saw that I can transition over to flag football and make that into a drill that we could potentially use. And so since I'm coming from an educator background, I can improvise almost anything. So I can put some things together, take one drill, take another drill, take a third drill, put it together, and make it the bomb drill. So being with them has been awesome. They actually, Coach Juan Rivera sent some pictures of me to my athletic director at the University of St. Mary. He called me and he was like, "Hey, I got some pictures of you." And I was like, but I'm like, "What pictures?" But he was like, "Hey, the team sent some pictures of you and of you getting in on the drills and whatnot." And so I went to go see the pictures. And so and Coach Rivera also wrote a note just stating, "Thank you for allowing us to have her here with us. She's done a phenomenal job, And so I thought that was a nice personal touch. I love the culture of the team. These guys work hard day in and day out. They're actually fun to be around. They laugh and joke, and it's some of the stuff that they say is funny. And so it's pretty cool. One thing that I do like is, my street name, whatever you want to call it, or my football name is Jelly. And so some of them call me Coach Jelly, and some of the linebacker coach will call me Jelly from time to time. So it's very personable, and so I like it. I like the culture. It's that team's got a lot of things going on for them for the future.
Well, definitely. I think they may be on their way to the playoffs this year. I think they touched the playoffs last year. And when I say that into the next round, it just depends on how they get everything together. But that's another discussion in itself.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about that at a later date. But let's put the jelly hat on. Let's put on Texas Elite Spartans. Girls, I'm telling you, I saw them firsthand. They bring the hat, got speed on offense. Zero points allowed in the regular season. Over 55 points a game total that you average. Now, we're not talking about one game, 2 games, but over 6 games. One of the top defenses in the league. Just shed a little light on how you guys are feeling going into the playoffs.
We're feeling pretty good. We actually treated Kansas City Glory like a playoff game. And so considering we had a lot of flags, although we won the game, it wasn't a pretty win. And so there's a lot of the imperfections that we're going to have to correct as a unit in all 3 phases of the game, which is the offense, the defense, and the special teams. I believe once all 3 of those phases click in the game, then we're going to continue to move forward. But if there's one phase of the game that's off, that means that the other 2 phases are going to have to work double time to pick up that last phase of the game. It's very fun. This season has been fun, interesting, challenging, all at one time. And so, we're not off yet. We're still grinding. We're still practicing. We're still doing film and chalk talk, things of that nature, and just making sure we understand our assignments and our alignments and things of that nature. Just getting together as a team and just doing what we're supposed to be doing. And so there's what I've learned, there's a difference between discipline and motivation. So sometimes when you get, towards playoffs, you get to that point to where you're like, well, dang, I really don't feel like going to practice. I just kind of want to just chill a little bit. And so that's where the motivation is starting to lack. But what keeps you going is the discipline part. When you don't feel like going to practice, that's the part that comes in more. That's the difference between a champion to me and a non-champion, is how far you go with motivation and with your discipline.
Absolutely. And being able to see you guys firsthand, definitely the motivation is there. You're one of the team leaders. And I believe that Odessa Jenkins is one of the better coaches that I've seen Kind of overheard some of the things that she was saying to you guys after the win over Houston and this week as well. Also, the sideline, the coaches are engaged, the players are engaged. Touch on Odessa Jenkins, head coach, first, and then just everything that you guys put together. You kind of said some of those things already.
Well, Odessa Jenkins is a known name in football, and I don't want to just say women's football, but in football.
Absolutely.
She too did an internship with the NFL team a few years back with the Atlanta Falcons, and so she got to experience all these things that I'm experiencing, if not more. And for her to just step outside her own comfort zone and start not just a whole nother team, but a whole nother league. But a whole nother league that hasn't really been in existence for less than 5 years. And so she has definitely made sure that she's not the smartest person in her circle. So she built basically an awesome circle around her to help build the Women's National Football Conference. And so for how she speaks, how she can motivate you, how she can get that discipline out of you, she does that on and off the field. And so for her to also have been a former player and see her success as a player and as a businesswoman and just as a friend and as a person. And so that's the type of person that you want to keep in your circle. That's the type of person that that's going to be in your corner. Because we all know sometimes everybody in your circle is not exactly in your corner. So she's definitely one of those people.
Tell her she's been in the corporate world as well as on the field. She's just a great speaker overall, and her story is great. Had a chance to do some background on that as well. And I knew when I heard the name and I put it with a face, I had seen some of her film as well. I mean, she's doing a great thing. You guys are on top of the league, and I look for you guys to go all the way. And you got the thing about it is the mindset. You guys are already saying, hey, we're going to be back in August. You need to come back and we'll be here in August. Just talk about the mindset a little bit.
The mindset, you definitely have to change a switch. You definitely have to be like a Ray Lewis. You on or you off. There's no in between. And to have that mindset and have that practice when you have the number one defense in the league and you got the top offense in the league as well. And so to go up against each other in practice, it's a lot of noise talk. It's a lot of, hey, you wouldn't better do it in the game type talk, but it's iron sharpens iron. So we make each other better. And so we're planning on going to Atlanta here next month sometime we'll be gone from the 14th to the 18th in the month of July. And the Atlanta Phoenix is basically putting all the playoff stuff together. And so actually later on this evening, that's when the playoff stuff comes out. We'll find out sometime this evening as far as who's playing who made it to the playoffs. Because, I know we'll make it, but we want to see who else is going to make it, who else we got to bulldoze through to get to where we want to be. And so I know to be a champion, I feel like sometimes we're the women version of the New England Patriots. You win. People want to beat you. People just want to score on you. Sometimes people don't really want to win. They just want to do something against the Texas Elite Spartans so they can have a highlight. So if that's your highest goal is just to score, that's great. That's fine. But our highest goal is to set a standard and to set not just a standard, but an elite standard for everyone else to follow. I agree with where the WNFC is going. I like the empowerment of women. I like the brand, the product that we're putting out there. We're not just putting anything. And so I appreciate that. I'm proud to be a WNFC athlete.
Absolutely. I agree. And seeing it firsthand, I believe you guys are going in the right direction. The On Your Mark show is definitely in your corner and supports everything that you guys are doing. I look to be there in August, maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
definitely going to be there.
We appreciate you. We appreciate your sideline support. Talking to some of the players, and definitely talking to Odessa. We just appreciate you just spreading the word, letting other people know we out here balling. And so, it's our house. We want to win the third ring in our house at the Apogee Stadium. And that stadium is a beautiful stadium, and you're comfortable inside the stadium. And to host a championship game and to potentially play in your championship game and potentially win, that's our goal, is to do that, set a standard and set a bar.
Coach Grayson, tell everybody where they can look up your university as well and your website and everything for the Texas Elite Spartans. You guys are on Twitter, you're on Instagram, everything.
Yes. Well, you can find the University of St. Mary at USM Flag on the IG, Instagram. You can also find us on Facebook, University of St. Mary. You can also find us the Twitter, Spire Flag Football, and that's Spire, S-P-I-R-E, Flag, F-B, for short for football. For Texas Elite Spartans, you can find us on Facebook, Texas Elite Women's Football. You can also find us Instagram, Texas Elite Women's Football, Facebook, Instagram. We're all pretty much around the same, but if anything, you just type in Texas Elite Spartans, you gonna find us, the top team that's gonna be on there. So hit us up if you're even interested in playing women's tackle football. Hit us up on all the social media outlets, talk with us, see what's going on, see if you're really interested. I will say football is not for the faint at heart. If you've got a young lady that wants to play flag football, even if she's never played, if she's an athlete, she can be a football player. And so contact me on all the social media outlets as well. My personal one, Jelly52, Gellie52.
One of my favorite coaches and players, Coach. I appreciate you joining me and supporting the On Your Mark show as you have for most of this year. Look forward to reaching back out to you when you're holding up that trophy.